You need to quit work. You need to quit work and start living on food stamps.
I wear makeup the past 2 days. It looks nice.
Thank you.
Shoes?
No, they're just summer shoes that I just pulled out.
Maybe I have seen them before. Have you worn them?
Yeah, I have. See you. See your little snaps at 6:30 in the morning.
No, that's legit.
Did you get the link? It's on there.
And that's nice, you But yeah, the red ones, when I was buying my David and Nicole have one of your videos. So they're today, that is not how I usually do it. Usually I blow dry my hair. And if I blow dry my hair, then whenever you do it, it's how to do your hair right. But I fell asleep on my hair one time. I love getting my hair, but this, like, when I curl it, I just, actually, this is what I did. So I put it up half way, and then I just curl the bottom, and then I put it all the way up to my head. Actually, right up here, and I pull out my bangs, that right here, and I curl that, and then I just curl the roots, and then everything, and then it takes like 5 minutes, and then I take it out. One of the girls on our team in Pennsylvania, her name's Jaylee, she is a audiologist, and that's how she curls her hair, and she taught it to me when we were up there. And for whatever reason, it pulls way better. I don't know yeah, I know some. They've never worked for me, but I know of them. Like the headband one, that was fine. I know you. I look good on you. I know my hair Can you just not straighten your hair every day? Like I put heat on it, but then it lasts me 4 days. So I have to keep eating for 4 days. Really?
coming. You are. You are.
I am. Somebody knows who's in here?
I don't think so. I don't know.
Thank you. You almost got caught up, Zach. Somebody's sitting there.
Oh, I don't know. John.
How y'all doing? Great.
I was gonna say put him on the front.
Everybody tonight? Hey, how y'all? My name is Joe Hudson. I get to introduce the speaker tonight. Good to see y'all. Hey, good to see y'all. You just forget where you're getting ready to do. Anyway, Joe Hudson here, and in case I forgot my name, I wouldn't say it again. But glad to have y'all out tonight. We'd like to welcome you. A couple of ground rules real quick. If you've got a cell phone, make sure it's on silent. I know it says it on the slide, but just want to make sure we got that. And tonight, you're in for a big treat. A good friend of mine, very successful in business, Lewis Myers, is going to be covering some concepts on business. And hopefully, if you're here as a guest, somebody sat down and talk with you a little bit on some concepts of what we're doing. We're excited about what's going on. And here's some things I'll mention to you. There's no shortage of money in the world today. You just got to figure out how to get it to come to you. So tonight is about a business plan, how you can own and operate your business on a shoestring budget off your cell phone. If you got some hustle and some desire and some energy, then you ought to be excited about when you go on tonight. Some of y'all will, and some of this may not be for you. It's okay. But Lewis is going to cover some business. He's very successful. He and his wife Holly put together a very successful business team. They're making some strong income. So tonight is a night for you to relax and just take in what they're going to cover with you. Does it make sense? Whatever your day was, it was awesome, not awesome, whatever, and your mind's going down, can I just tell you to slow down a little bit? Anybody do this, just breathe, just relax, okay? The next 40, 50 minutes and gather some information in, okay? Sounds great. Well, help me welcome Mr. Lewis Myers.
How's everybody doing tonight? Fantastic, fantastic. My name is Lewis. I'm 6'7", and I don't play basketball. All right? I know it's a total waste of height, but hey, what can I say? I'm originally from Wisconsin. I moved down 9 years ago. Holly, has it hit 10 yet?
Yeah.
Okay.
Almost 11.
Had no idea where she was. Okay, very cool. All right. I was almost 11. How many of you would say that time feels like it goes by like that?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, dude, for real. You know, like parents always say, time flies, and you're a kid, you're like, no, you're old, I'll never be old. You know, I'm cool, you're outdated, right? We're all hitting the outdated stages, okay? So, no. It's, life is good. We've been down here for about 11 years. I originally came down for college. I went to a really small Bible college, actually, up in Shelby, North Carolina, and I studied youth ministry for like a couple of years, and then I was a youth pastor for like 6 years. How many of you guys would let me be your kid's pastor? Okay, yeah. All right, awesome. Oh man, I don't ever think the pastor ever got it. I think it was like, first of all, he probably was trying to figure out, how did he get into this position? And then second of all, how did I allow it to happen? Right? It was, everybody on staff got to preach in like the adult service. I never did. I'll never understand why. But I just love having fun. That's been my whole life. My whole motto. Have fun. Because you only get to live once, right? And I saw my pops. My dad's been a truck driver for 35 or 36 years now. And I saw my dad do the all work, no fun option in life. And it wasn't very appealing. Anybody see their parents kind of do like the all work, very little fun option? For most people, that's what they're familiar with seeing, and that's what I saw growing up. And so while I was in college, I made a determination that somehow I was gonna figure out how to pay my bills and still have fun. Sound fair? Because bills aren't fun. How many of you enjoy paying your bills? Oh, nobody. Like, awesome. But yeah, maybe some of you are like, well, I would actually enjoy paying my bills. That's why you're here tonight, okay? We're gonna get you back on track. But, that wasn't what I wanted to do. I wanted freedom. I'm the type of guy that living inside of a box doesn't suit me super well. First of all, it'd have to be a really big box, right? But it never suited me really well. I always wanted to was anybody ever considered rebellious through high school? Yeah, okay, so we have some people in the room, and then some of the girls, Holly was never considered a rebel. How many of you have really good GPAs in high school? How many of you got really good grades in high school? Okay, a few people in the room. All right, awesome. I never did. I saw the principal more than I saw the teacher. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it was pretty bad. And then even when I got into college, it just seemed like, golly, it went from one set of rules to more rules, and I thought I was gonna go crazy. Anyways, none of that had absolutely anything to do with what we're talking about tonight. I apologize. But I have to start somewhere, I guess. So let me get some of your names really quick, if that's okay. What's your name?
Thomas.
Thomas, my name is Lewis, and if I'm not mistaken, Jonathan Peoples invited you out tonight?
That's correct.
Awesome, good to have you out tonight.
Yeah.
John is a pretty solid dude, pretty solid. John's a super solid dude. Actually, Thomas, his wife made me quesadillas yesterday.
That's solid.
Some of the best dang quesadillas I've ever had. And I was like, why is there so much cheese in this thing? She's like, well, I only had one shell left, so I just put 3 shells worth of cheese in it. But it was amazing. Absolutely amazing. I had a stomachache for 20 minutes, but after everything digested, it was awesome. So, and your name is Ashley, right? Yeah, great. Good to have you out tonight, Ashley. Good to have you out tonight. And I know that there's a lot of other people and folks in the room. Right back here, what's your name?
Bree.
Bree, nice to meet you. Do you work with my wife?
Yes.
My wife likes you. Yeah, so that's awesome. Very cool, okay? And what's your name?
Jared.
Jared, nice to meet you. I think Bree likes you. So you're good there, right? So, okay, awesome. She's been really good at faking it for a couple years, huh?
Yeah.
But sometimes I wake up or I do something stupid. I'm like, Holly, are you faking all of this? Or did you actually mean to marry me? It's did you lose a bet or something? Or did you actually want to do this, We just wrapped up actually 9 years of February 17th. So it was really, really cool. I didn't forget, I don't think. And so it's just been a really good life, Thomas. We've actually been building this business for 7 years. When we were looking for an opportunity, it was because I was working as youth pastor, I was working a job, and we were just constantly struggling financially. That's not everybody's story. Most of the folks that we work with today, that's not their story. But that was my story. I mean, it was just constant. I always felt like there was more month than income. And I know we all agree that term, but when you're living in that, it's the most frustrating place to possibly live in life. Where you feel like you just can't ever enjoy the day except payday, right? It's oh, payday's awesome! Yeah, you go get a steak and you go and have some, and then within 37 hours it's gone. And you're like, okay, now I have to figure out how to live the next 28 days. And I just didn't want to do that forever. I saw my pops do that, and I said, there's a lot of things that go into play with that. I thought maybe if I got a college degree, Bree, that was going to put me on track to where I wouldn't have to struggle financially. But I had seen a lot of my friends graduating from college and not able to get jobs anyways. Or they were getting out of college and they were $20,000, $30,000, $40,000 in student loan debt. And I said, it doesn't matter how much money they make, the amount of money they're going to have to pay back on that debt for the next 30 or 40 years is ludicrous. Ludicrous, especially if they have this desire to keep up with the Joneses, right? Because nobody wants to be driving the Honda that they had in junior high. So they get a car payment. And then they certainly don't want to live with their parents, and oh, God forbid that you rent, so I gotta buy a house, because that's an investment, right? Okay, and then they buy a house, and they've got stacked on debt. And so lots of people that we work with, maybe make really good income, but hey, you know what, an extra $2,000 a month would create a lot of breathing room. For Holly and I, it was $300 a month was a great breathing room. That's just where we were at. And so we were looking for opportunity. A gentleman named Curtis Pryor chatted with me a little bit, and here we are today. And we're really thankful. It's been a fun ride. So let's go ahead and jump into a little bit of detail. But first of all, just think about why you're here tonight. Try not to focus too much on, you know, the color of my shirt or my hanky and how it coordinates so well, or how fuzzy my jacket must be. It's really not that fuzzy. Try to think about why am I here tonight, and what is it that my wife and I, or what is it that just me, or what is it that I'm looking for in my life? And does this marry it? Tonight, we're gonna talk about an opportunity, but more so, we're gonna talk about cash flow. And we're gonna talk about creating money in your life. Here's the thing, when I grew up, Thomas, like, money was like, it was a bad thing, right? And you know what? All the people that told me that didn't have any either. And so it was really tough for me at first to like think in terms of money. I always thought in terms of blessing other people or ministry and things of that nature. But what I found out is that when somebody's car broke down, and if I didn't have any money to help them get their car repaired, that car was still broke down. Or when somebody couldn't pay their rent payment, if I didn't have the money to help them pay their rent payment, they still got evicted. Or if somebody needed somebody to go for Thanksgiving, but I couldn't put on an extra turkey, that person still went nowhere for Thanksgiving. And so what we're gonna talk about tonight is money and creating more of it. And just to be honest, so tonight just think $2,000, what does that do for my life? And just think from that perspective. $1,300 a month, what does that do in my life? And think from that perspective. What we do within our business is not something that you're gonna get rich overnight with. It's not the intent of our vehicle. The intent of our vehicle is not gonna get you out of your job in 3 months. That's not the intent of our vehicle. The intent of our vehicle is to be able to help somebody that says, you know what, student loans are killing me. It's meant for the person that says, you know what, my car payment's killing me, or I'm upside down in my house, or whatever it might be, or I've got a family member that I want to start blessing, or I've got kids that I want to start blessing, or there's a nonprofit I want to start blessing. Holly and I ran into this just recently. There was 4 kids, I don't know how many of y'all saw this, but they're on Facebook, and they were like looking for a home for these 4 kids, but all the kids needed to stay together, because they're all brothers and sisters, right? And I mean, just how powerful is that, to think that, you know what, just extra income gives those kids a new place to go. It makes sure that they all stay together, and it gives them a home. And so my objective was just to figure out this whole money problem, because here's what I figured. If I figured out how to fix it once, I could live the rest of my life great. Or I could struggle with it for the rest of my life, Thomas, and just be constantly thinking about money. How many of you prefer not to think about money? Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, here's what I found out. Let me ask you this. How many of you thought about air today? How many of you thought about breathing today? You know why you don't think about it? It's because there's an abundance of it. You know why you think about money all the time? Because a nickel only gets stretched so far. Make sense? So my objective was to get Lewis and Holly out of the framework of thinking from paycheck to paycheck into thinking about what was our purpose, what was our passion, what did we want to freaking do with our life? I get to do this thing one time. How the heck do I want to live it? Thomas, you don't know this about me, but I'm working on my swearing. And so I'm not going to swear at all tonight.
That was pretty strong.
It was, wasn't it? It was pretty strong. I felt like we skirted that really well. So I get hyped up, man. I get excited. And I think like swearing just really emphasizes things, right? Like when you stub your toe, you don't say, I mean, you know what I'm saying? Like, you don't say picnic. Breakfast. You know? You swear, okay? It lets everybody know in the house, don't talk to me. So LTD, what is LTD? LTD is the education program. It's an institution that we're partnered with that taught Lewis how to build business. It taught Lewis how to start to think like an entrepreneur, and it taught Lewis how to start thinking about money. I never had been taught that my whole life. All I had been taught growing up was how to work really hard. And I was taught like a task. So I worked on cars growing up, and I fed chickens. Like, we had a small farm, and we worked on cars, and my dad's like, hey, listen, this is gonna be your fallback plan, Lou. As long as you can work on cars, you'll always have a fallback plan. And I was like, the problem is that I absolutely hate working on cars. So, and here's another situation I was running into, is that unless I was turning wrenches, I wasn't gonna be making dollar bills. It really gets conflicting when you have to do something you don't necessarily want to, but because your income is tied to it, you don't have a choice. That's frustrating. When you're like, I don't wanna go in this weekend, but they're gonna pay me time and a half. So you keep yourself hyped like, and you think yourself, this is awesome, I'm gonna get time and a half. And it comes to the end of the month and you still have zero. And you're like, dang it, see, dang it. How did this happen? I worked time and a half. I lost a whole Saturday and a whole Sunday to spend it with my kids, to spend it with my spouse, to spend it with friends, and I'm still at freaking zero. And it's for many reasons, there's a lot of reasons in that, but for many reasons it's just because of how our minds are programmed. Unless you change the GPS or the map inside of your head, it's still gonna go to the same destination. Doesn't matter if you change the address or not. Lots of people are changing the address, but they're not changing the GPS direction to get to that new address. LTD is built and run by millionaires through our industry, and they change the blueprint or the GPS of my mind so that my paycheck or my income stopped going to zero every month. So that my lifestyle stopped being stuck and I could start living. And so does that kind of make sense? That's what LTD is all about. And I'm extremely thankful for LTD because I did the college thing and it was really, really cool. But nobody taught me how to get rich. And the reality is, we would all be happier people if we were rich. Now maybe you have this thought process, Lewis, whoa, I'm happy. Let me ask you a question though. Your life's a spider web. Think about all the people that are attached to you. Could you make their life happier? Could you make their life more beneficial? And that's what hit me. Yeah, I could struggle my whole life and Holly and I would be comfortable, right? But everybody that was attached to me would be negatively affected. My dad is 65 years old and he does not have much of a retirement plan. I don't know if you guys can relate to that with your parents, but the dude still works. I talked the other day, we're gonna go visit him in Wisconsin. I said, so what time is Dad get home? She said, usually between 9:30 and 1 in the morning. And I said, what time does he go in? She's like, he has to be at work at 9:30. And I said, that was my sister. And I said, don't you see a problem with that? Like, I was literally dumbfounded because I began to forget the crazy things people do to make money. Like work 60 hours a week. That's crazy. Okay. So we work with a big entity called the Amway Corporation. It's been around for about 55 years. It is a family-owned industry. It is in 100 countries and territories. It's really, really big, all right? That was the Amway Arena down in Orlando, Florida. They sponsored the USA Today Coaches Poll. And so the little football, the crystal football, do we have a picture of the crystal football? We don't have a picture of the crystal football, but the crystal football, that produced 2.5 billion impressions for us in our business. Now, let me just get this out of the way really, really quickly. Amway is infrastructure. I am not an employee of Amway. I am not an Amway puppet. I'm an entrepreneur that taps into their infrastructure. They provide products, services, warehousing, employees, websites, everything that I need to run a business, and I do it out of my home. And they just provide the infrastructure. Here's what's cool though. It's a super big company. It's first in its class, and they do everything first class. My customers are taken care of like no other customers are taken care of. This isn't Walmart customer service, folks. Yeah, that's rough, isn't it? You're talking about top of its class customer service. And here's another thing that's awesome. My wife and I built a business, like Joe said, off a shoestring budget. Starting an Amway business costs $180. I went into business for a $180 investment. Oh, but here's the reality of it, Thomas. Is that the average person only makes $200 a month. Now, I found out after I got registered. So what was my first thing? Zach, I'm getting out. Hype, man. I got in, Bree, and as fast as I got in, I was about to get out. I was sitting in the kitchen, and I called my upline. I said, man, this thing's a scam. Average income is only $200 a month. I want to get out. 24 years old, man. Talk about little kahunas, right? I was like, oh man. If you would have saw me videotape, you said, he's 12. And then you would have thought, but he's married. You know, there's a disconnect. Here's what it was. My mentality was still in the nursery. How I thought income worked was still in the nursery. It was still old school. The only way I thought income worked was I need to go work for somebody else that took a risk, that took a chance, and pursued a dream and worked for them. That's the only way I can make income. God forbid I think that I could create income for myself, by myself, right? And the gentleman, thank God, he's been in for 22 years. He said, Lewis, he said, hang tight. He said, first of all, do you know any of these people that you're reading this information from? I was like, no. But her name is Felicia, and Felicia knows everything. He said, well, have you met me? I said, yes. He's like, here's something that cool that Amway does for you. He's like, is you're going to give you a 90-day window. If I don't help you succeed in this business, they'll buy you out of business. So Jeff, I did the smart thing. I did the 90 days. Jeff, I'm still here today 7 years later. Your name is not even Jeff. Jess! Sorry, man. Oh, man, I apologize. Here's a quick video about the 2000, here's a quick video about the Amway Corporation, and then we're going to get into the numbers and just jump in. I mean, and that's it. And then just see how Amway works. Sound fair, Thomas? Mm-hmm. Cool, brother. Let's go ahead and just do a quick video, and then we'll get into the numbers.
What is Amway? It involves over 450 exclusive products, but it's not a store. It provides a way for people to earn extra income, but it's not a get-rich-quick scheme. And millions of people are working with Amway, but it's definitely not a 9-to-5 job. Amway provides an opportunity, and that's what the direct selling industry is all about. It's a $166 billion industry that has nearly 17 million people in North America involved. Amway is one of the most successful direct selling organizations of all time. It was started back in 1959, and since its founding, Amway has always been about personal connections. This is Emma. For the cost of a night out with friends, she recently started an Amway business. She's joining a network of entrepreneurs who have discovered the freedom and flexibility that comes with being their own boss. Amway independent business owners have the opportunity to sell exclusive, high-quality products that customers need and use every day, and get to do it on their own terms. Emma can work wherever or whenever she wants, in the mornings, on the weekends, from her kitchen, or outside. Sure, starting a business takes work, but it's also a convenient way to earn extra income while working around any schedule. And though Emma works for herself, Amway independent business owners are never working by themselves. As their business grows, so does their team. From the start, they're a part of a support network that's available to share advice and offer mentorship, because there's enough opportunity to go around. We are Amway.
All right, very cool. So $166 billion You're like, Louis, where does that come from? What's $166 billion? Amway is considered a direct selling business, or what also would be considered an MLM. Anybody ever heard of those terminologies before? Yeah, most of the time they're associated with a scam, right? People get in and they lose their shirt. Okay, whatever that means. They lose their house and their car and everything else, all right? The Amway Corporation is part of that industry that makes up $166 billion. I didn't need all the $166 billion, I just needed a sliver. Does that make sense? I wasn't looking for all of it, I just needed a sliver. And if $166 billion is running through these industries, and 11.8 of those $1 billion are running through our industry, somebody's making money. Somebody's making money, all right? Let's go ahead and jump into the compensation plan here. So this is our business here. Holly and I have a website or a .com that we run all of our customers and our business through, all right? Eddie, great hair tonight, okay? That we run all our business through. We've got a cute picture here. This is where your industry and your business is gonna run through. This is all provided by the corporation when you get started in business. They also set you up with about $250 worth of products and services to get your business up and running as well, all right? Here's again some of the partnerships. Anybody ever shopped at Best Buy before? Okay, cool. How many of you shopped at Office Depot before? Okay, very cool. Apple, I mean all this stuff here. You know, it's what we did is that Holly and I had an opportunity through the Amway infrastructure to be independent business owners and to run our purchases through a .com and get paid for it. Period. Period. We also have products and services here. These are products and services that are owned and manufactured by the corporation. And they're the best of the best, all right? So let's continue to move on. There's more information with that we'll pass on to you when you leave. All right? Quick question. It's awesome. All right? How many of y'all brush your teeth? Okay? We in West Virginia, everybody should. Okay? So, or else I'd say, how many of y'all brush your tooth? All right, no, everybody brushes their teeth, right? Holly and I brush our teeth as well. How many of you guys take showers? Okay, great. Wear deodorant? Great. Wash your clothes? Great. Wash your dishes? Just keep your hand up. How many of you guys do jumping jacks? Okay. Holly and I do the same thing. Everything that you can think of that runs down your drain, Thomas, runs down our drain as well. The only difference is that because of our partnerships, we get paid for the volume that runs down our drain. So Christmas time, how many of you guys buy gifts at Christmas time? Mm-hmm. Right? How many of you get gifts for people? Thomas, here's what's awesome. Now, I don't tell my family members this because they would all be really mad. Okay? See? Number 3. Okay, awesome. Okay. They'd all be really mad. But when I buy Christmas gifts, I run it through my business. I get paid the 15th of January. While everybody else is broke, I'm getting a check. All right. Okay, so everything that we do is based on creating volume. Bree, we don't get paid for registering anybody in business. That $180, Thomas, goes directly to the corporation. It's not like, oh, here's $180 and it gets divvied up between 300 people. It goes directly to the corporation. We don't make a dime from that. Our interest is not to run around and get people to sign a dotted line. That does nothing for our industry. It does nothing for us as business owners. It's all based on volume. So there's 3 ways that we create volume. Let me talk about this graph really quickly. So our toothpaste has a certain number of points, detergent, all sorts of stuff has a certain number of points. As those points go up, the amount of money that we make back goes up. First of all, personal use, okay? There is a dude named Sam Walton. How many of you guys know who Sam Walton is? Yeah. Okay? He's the owner of Walmart. Well, he's dead. Now he has 5 children. I don't know his children at all. I didn't play softball with them. I didn't play basketball with them. I didn't go to their birthday parties. I have no idea who these people are. But every time I buy a packet of Dove from Walmart, I'm paying them. Every time I go and buy Suave from Walmart, a few cents from that Suave goes to their yacht's gas tank. Every time I go and get ho-hos from Walmart, some gas goes into their Bugatti. Make sense? The other day, it did remind me though, the Friday night, how many of you guys do like a movie night, like on Friday nights? Yeah, we did a movie night. It's kind of weird though, because Holly hates watching movies now. Absolutely hates watching movies. Weird. But anyway, we negotiate, and I win. And so we watch the movie right. How many of you have seen an old person eating a donut stick and like dipping it in coffee? Okay, all right, good, thank God. I'm pure alone, okay? So I kept thinking about this old lady named Rosie that lived next to me. I was a really little boy, I used to go over to her house, and she would dip. She was 97 and gum this donut stick. And I would always go, I'm gonna go over there, I'm gonna get a donut stick. I bought something from Walmart. I bought a box of donut sticks. All right, and we had old folk hour at the house. There were 6 of them, she ate one, I ate all the rest of them. All right, it was awesome. All right, continuing on. So then we have 3 customers as well. Like every business, you have a couple customers. When our customers are utilizing products and services, again, that are exclusive through our industry. So let's talk about this being your first month in business. We're gonna be generating 150 points in business. You're looking at making an extra $122. You're almost in the black within your business within your first month in business. All right? Now let's expand it a little bit bigger. The coolest thing about our business is that it gives you the potential to develop a team. Let me ask you a quick question. How many of y'all are a part of a system?
Yep.
Okay? If you work a job, you're a part of a system. Everybody is. Okay? Now let me ask you a question. How many of you are in total control of that system? Okay, not very many people. When you work a part of somebody else's system, you have no control of that system. If that company goes bankrupt, you're gone. All right? If you get hit by a car, they stop paying you and your family. If they downsize and they give out little gifts called pink slips, it doesn't matter how pretty the slip is, it sucks. You're gone. All right? Within our business, we're a part of a system, but you're 100% in control of the income earned within our system. I am a part of somebody's business. His name is Curtis, her name is Dina, and they're a couple, so the last name is Pryor. I don't know how that all came out like that. But anyways, Curtis and Dina Pryor, okay? Weird. Anyways, I'm a part of their business. He makes a small percentage from the industry that I build and the organization that I build. But I always make more in my business than Curtis and Dina do. Here's what I know. When I used to work at Coach, I used to sell purses, okay? Don't judge me, I did it for like 3 years. It was awesome, okay? Actually, it was leather goods, all right? It didn't matter if I made that company $500,000 that day or if I made that company $1 million that day, I was gonna get paid my base salary, period. Now, I might win a bonus at the end of the year, at the end of the month. Oh, God, an extra $200. That's like cents on the dollar from the profit margin that they make. Essentially what they're doing is that they are frying their own chicken tenders first, and then what's ever left at the bottom of the bag, which is usually just like flour, they fry that and hand it to me. They're like, here's your tenders. This is a real life problem I have at Applebee's, Thomas. For real, bro. I always get the bottom of the bag, man. They're like, here's your 10 tenders. I'm like, there's not one here. Not one. The last time we went, you can ask Zach this. I was like, could you please not give me the bottom of the bag? They're like, we'll do our best. We didn't get bottom of the bag. Were they pretty good? They were pretty good. All right. So let's say we all have huge networks. The big thing about a business is that financial capital is very small in the Amway opportunity. But network capital is our bank. Here's what's awesome about the day and age in which we live. We all got banging networks. Everybody's got a Facebook, everybody's got a cell phone, some have Twitter, some have Snapchat, some have, everybody, here's what the reality is. All of us have huge networks. Every single one of you could get in touch with your graduating class from high school. Except for maybe 1 or 2, you could get in touch with every single one of them. Here's a question, how big was your graduating class? Now, I don't care how small you think your graduating class was, I beat you. Mine was 2. It was me and another skinny kid, kind of weird, okay? His name Nathan. I've never seen Nathan again. I graduated, I left, I've never seen him again. When we went on our senior trip, we got on the plane, we never saw each other. And we got back on the plane. And I was late. Rebel, right? You're late, whatever, okay. I was having fun, you were learning things. All right, so if 5, 6 people are looking to make additional income, your volume is going up, you're now at 1,000 PV, you're making an extra $350 a month. Let's go up a little bit bigger. So each of these people are CEOs just like you are. Just like you are. So you help each of the 6 find 4 that are looking to make additional income. Your income is going up. The volume is going up. You said, Lewis, why is your income going up while your volume is going up? Here's why. Without us, there is no Amway. So they incentivize us to help other people succeed in Amway. I don't get paid for my downline. I get paid from the corporation based on how many other people I help move products and services for the Amway Corporation. That's simple. So when my volume goes up, it's not because, oh, Matt, I'm going to take a piece of Matt's pie. No, the corporation says, oh, you help somebody else? Here's some more income for helping them. You know, how many of you get like the employee, you know, if you refer somebody, you get a paycheck? Same thing. The only difference is I get paid on that every single month. Income's growing at 21%, extra $1,700 a month. This is when you start paying your student loans, people. This is when you start updating the car, maybe. This is where you stop buying ramen noodle. Yeah, right? I used to live on that stuff. No joke, right? It amazes me that ramen noodle never goes up in price. I thank Jesus every day that it never did too. Because I don't know what's lower than ramen, but it's gotta be bad. Because they upgrade the ramen, it's like mac and cheese. And then an upgrade from that is hot dogs in your mac and cheese. See, I've lived all these levels of life. I've lived every single one of them, haven't we, Holly? Oh, and then the upgrade from that was Little Caesars. For the week, yeah. You know it's bad when you're rationing Little Caesars pizza. So now we help the 4 discover 2. It's not going to work out exactly like this, but the idea is the more people you help, the more income you make. Awesome. You're at the top of the income bracket, and you're making about $4,000 a month on the side of whatever it is that you're doing on the full time. Or you're in school, or your job. This may not necessarily, you know, get you out of your job. But for some it will. All right? So you're looking at $40,000 to $60,000 a year. Let's take it up just a little bit bigger. So you go platinum, you got 3 people in your organization go platinum. That level we just said, they call it platinum. I don't know where they come up with the names, but it's what they've been using for 55 years, okay? Okay, anyway. So you got 3 other people go platinum in the business, or they choose to go platinum. Right? They're like, listen, I like the lifestyle, I like how that creates options for yourself, I want to go platinum as well. And you help them do it. My coach and mentor helped my wife and I go platinum in this business. We didn't just suddenly arrive at platinum. They helped us along the way. You have to understand something. I was starting with ramen noodle. I was starting with mac and cheese and hot dogs. I was starting with running my car more on fumes than on gas. Anybody relate? Yeah, you were real close to Jesus then. You know what I'm saying? You backslid when you had a quarter of a tank in your car. You started sinning. You know what I'm saying? Oh, I got a quarter of a tank. I can swear. You know what I'm saying? But anyways. All right, good shit. No, Thomas, I'm not on fumes. That's not why we're coming this way, okay? My wife just can't stand it. I don't know where I got it from. My dad would punch me in the face if you heard me swear, but from somewhere I picked it up. I think it's anyway, all right, so you help 3, you're making an extra $100,000 a year. That's a great corporate job. Great. And here's what's awesome. With this $100,000 a year, are you working more or are you working less? Less. You're working less. If I'm not mistaken, typically, traditionally, money says your income goes up, the more of your life you lose. And here's what I know about millennials or our generation. We would rather get paid less and be able to live life than to make more and not have a life. Here's what was awesome through the opportunity. I saw a Chance Thomas where I could have both. That freaks most people out because we've never been taught that. We've never seen that. Well, we see that in our own life. All right, let's talk a little bit bigger. We're talking 3 to 5 years. We're not talking overnight. This stuff right here is not stuff that happens overnight. Doesn't happen overnight. but it just talks about the potential. The potential. I just wanted something that had some freaking potential. You're looking at about $250,000 a year. Here's a quick video on the 2014 numbers with the Emory Corporation, and then we're out. Again, like we started the meeting out thinking about what the extra income would do for you. You saw an opportunity that creates additional income for yourself. Now within our business, within our industry, there's no salaries being paid out, which means you don't have a boss. So many people look at the negatives, but they don't understand the correlating positives. I was trying to get away from a boss. I was trying to get away from somebody telling me when to take my lunch break. I was trying to get away from somebody telling me what time I had to be to work. I was trying to get away from telling me what kind of house I had to live in based on how much they were gonna pay me. I was trying to get away from having to drive a car that whether I liked it or not, it's all I could afford. You gotta do an industry that you can make $0, and if you put some work and effort into it and you're coachable, you can make $1 million. And there's no golden ticket in our business, Thomas. There's no golden ticket. It's not like we have Willy Wonka candy bars in the back. And if you get the golden ticket, oh God, you got a good kid. The only good kit or bad kit that you have is the one you're sitting on. And you get to choose how good or bad it is. And we just chose to make a really good kit. I just gotta stop, okay? So just think about, if you take advantage of the opportunity, what it does for you and your family. What it does for you and your kids. What it does for when you pass away, what do you plan on leaving behind? What's cool about Amway is that once it's built, it doesn't go away. When our kids start coming around and we pass away, the reality is I'm seeing my parents get closer and closer and closer, and yet there's nothing that they're gonna be leaving behind for us. Absolutely nothing. Oh wait, there's a house that was built in the 1800s that we're gonna get. They've refinanced 4 or 5 times. It's still not paid off. Here's my dad's explicit request. Give it to your sister, but please pay it off. And it's because my dad has realized that I made some different choices in my life, and it's producing different results. When I dropped out of college, they were flipping out. But 7 years later, they're thankful that I could reprogram the roadmap in my head. Because I'm going to be able to take care of the family. So you guys have been awesome tonight. Great group of people. You all are very pretty people. And you have a wonderful evening. Safe travels, all right? See you all next How's everybody doing? Awesome. Good. Hopefully that's good. Everybody's like sun drunk. They're like the sun is out. Yeah, that's correct. So, several people have been asking about location for the team meeting on Saturday. As of right now, it's going to be at the Marriott by Michelin. But the sales lady over there doesn't get back to emails very promptly, so anyway, hopefully I'm gonna go there tomorrow and get all that squared away. So that's right now, that's where it's gonna be. So Marriott on Parkway, right, exactly. So it will be from 6 to 10 on Saturday night. We do know that, absolutely, for sure. So, but hopefully everybody's doing good. Aaron, are you good? Yeah, awesome. Good. So if this is your first time staying for training, we want to know who you are. So if you guys can just stand up, it's your first time staying for training, we just want to know your name and who invited you, that's it. First time staying for training in this meeting. Anybody? Have you been here before? What's your name? Dalton. Whose team are you on? Okay, awesome. I haven't met you before. Good to meet you. All right, we have two right here.
Yes, we're part of the Third North team.
Okay, awesome.
And I'm Bree, this is Jared.
Bree and Jared. No, you're fine. All right, awesome. Bree and Jared. Good to have you. Awesome. And you registered somebody yesterday, right? Good stuff. We'll recognize that in a minute. Congratulations. That's awesome. So what we're going to do is we're going to recognize a few things that it actually takes to grow the business, right? Because there's no reason to recognize and put focus on things that don't grow the business, like sitting on your couch and watching movies. So sorry, we're not going to applaud you for doing that. But if you've taken some action in your business from last Tuesday to this Tuesday, a few things that we're going to recognize. I'm sure you've already built a list, right? How big was your first list, you know?
40 people.
40 people, awesome. That's a pretty good start, so that's awesome. And John, you've been doing some work for him?
Yes, sir.
Awesome, things been going pretty good? Finding some lookers?
Yep.
So from that list, what we do once you build that list as big as you can, if you've been in business for 6 months or a year, you can probably still build that list. I'm actually still working on my list. I've been in business for 7 years. Yesterday, I added 4 people to my list, right? After 7 years of being in the business, I'm still doing what a brand new person who just got started yesterday should do, right? Because there's only a certain handful of things that actually grow the business. And if you ever stop doing those things, your business won't grow as fast. Right, Dion? So I'm still doing the exact same things that Jeremy and Nick are telling you to do. All right? So build a big list, and then once you have that list, we actually reach out to those people and contact them and ask them, are you looking for a way to make extra income, right? Everybody pretty much has that. It's a very, very simple process. And here's what I found. For me, if my business is lagging or starts to slow down, it's just because I stopped doing those simple things. And then I start thinking in my head, how can we get my business to grow? And then I start complicating this entire process that is the simplest process in the world. Like, it's so simple a caveman can do it, right? It really is. Wesley, if you ever feel like you're stuck, the only reason why is because your list either dwindled away or got gone, and you haven't continued to build it, right? Or you've already gone through it, and you haven't continued to build it, or you stop reaching out to people. That is the only reason why I ever feel stuck. After 7 years, if I'm like, dang it, my business isn't growing as fast as it should. As soon as I start talking to people and build my list, and as soon as I start reaching out to people, I feel like it's fluid again. I'm moving again. It's so crazy how that works, and I quit overthinking it and quit confusing myself, right? Because this is the simplest business on the face of the planet. We're the ones who are complicated that make it complicated, all right? So we reach out to those people. Hey, are you looking for an opportunity to create some extra income? Most people are probably going to say yes to that question, right? More than not are going to say, yes, I'm looking for an opportunity. Here's what we got to do with those people, is weed down the ones that are actually going to do what we do. That can be a little bit more complicated, but really it's a pretty simple process. We take them through what's called a QI, or a quality invite. And then after the quality invite, which is an invite to this meeting, and they show up here, then we actually sit down and do a follow-up, right? But what we promote is doing at least 2 quality invites a week. At least 2. That's for like the brand new guy. But if you want to do 10, that's okay. If you do 10, your business will grow faster than if you just do 2, right? It's a little secret. It's just like 10 times the effort of what normal people do. You'll get 10 times the results of normal people, right? And so, list, who has added names to their list this week? Just raise your hand. Let's just see that. Okay, awesome. Several people. Give yourselves a hand for that. So these 2 plans, we did 2 quality invites. If you've registered a new IDO, or if you had a guest out here at this meeting tonight, all right? If you had a guest out here at this meeting tonight, you did at least 2 quality invites, and if you registered a new IDO, come on up. We want to hear from you. And when you come up, here's what we want to know. We want to know your name, your sponsor, or who invited you out, and which one of those 3 things that you did. All right, so come on up. All right, here we go. Adam, first one up. What's up?
Name's Adam Knowles, aka Maverick, first sponsored by Jeremy Burns, 4+.
Awesome, good job.
First person sponsored by Adam Knowles, registered new IDO.
All right, hold up. Hey. All right. So Nick registered an IDO. Walk me through that really quick.
So I sat down with them at Barnes & Noble.
How did you meet him?
I actually met him at that Barnes & Noble.
Met him at a Barnes & Noble. Okay, just strike up a conversation.
Yeah.
Hey, how's it going?
Yeah, he was reading about photography, so I was asking
Okay.
about him, he had a little bit of passion about it, and
Something that he was excited about.
yeah.
People skill. All right, awesome.
Learning.
Go ahead. All right.
So yeah, we just got his number. I told him that he was asked if he was looking. He said, yeah, for sure. We sat down with him, showed him the plan, said it makes sense, looks good, and registered right there on the spot.
I'm not sure if I've had that happen or not. I think I have, but the reason why I wanted him to share that is just so that we can clear our mindsets, because it doesn't always have to happen in a sequence of 3 weeks, right? If it makes sense, okay, let's go. Let's get registered, right? It's expectation of people are going to want to do what we do. So good stuff, Nick.
Jess Edwards, personally sponsored by Beth and Mario, 2+, and registered some great people at Ardmore.
Awesome. Sponsored by Heather Christer and 2+.
I'm sponsored by Jonathan and Chelsea, and I registered with IBS.
not have to be tall to build Amway. He's already rocking it. Everybody thinks, oh, Lewis and Zach are so tall. You don't have to be tall and you can build a business. Represent. He's stronger than I am, though. I can tell by looking at him. All right, go ahead.
Hey guys, we're Zach and Andrea Green, personally sponsored by Lewis and Myers, 2 plus. And Naviel Simonelli, sponsored by Chrissy Coggins, 2 plus.
Awesome.
Coggins, sponsored by Lewis and Myers, I guess, on YouTube in Colombia. That is sponsored by Jose and Morales, 2 plus.
Awesome.
Jonathan and Chelsea People, sponsored by Lewis and Holly Myers, 2 plus, and a guest in the room.
Heather Christner, sponsored by Zach and Andrea Green, 2 plans and a new idea.
Explain that story about how you got the new IBO.
This is actually a girl that we tried to show the plan to about 1.5 years ago. Timing just didn't match up. Never showed the plan to her. Showed her the plan on Sunday and she got registered on the spot.
All right. So here's what I heard somebody say, a diamond in the business, Matt Growald. He said 50% of the people he sits down with to show the plan to, he'll register right on the spot. Here's the thing. The business makes sense. And you're showing it to solid people. Why not? Why not get started? Right? And we'll give you a 90-day money-back guarantee if you think you made a bad decision. Why not? Let's go. Get them rolling. Get them their product pack. Get a list, right? That's what we want to do is get a list so we can start helping them build their business. But here's what I found. When people make a decision, they try to rationalize in their mind why they made a good decision, right? Because who in here wants to make a bad decision? She has an excuse. She's been working like 97 hours a week. I don't even know how she does it. She's probably home sleeping right now, but she's a winner. She wants to get out of bed. And staying home sleeping wouldn't get her out of her job, so that's why she's here. Right? So you don't want to make a bad decision. So when you make a decision, you try to justify why you made a good one. Right? So then they're registered, and then they go, and their mom says, that's a dumb idea. They're going to be like, well, why? I think it was a good idea. Right? Because they made that decision already. Right? So anyway, I think it's pretty cool. So good stuff.
We have 2 plus and a guest online.
Awesome.
Diamond sponsored by Lou and Lisa Hagan, have 1 guest on YouTube.
Awesome.
Thanksgiving sponsored by Aaron Brink, and 2 YouTube guests.
Awesome.
Break one within Hagan 2 plus.
Awesome.
Sponsored by Holly Lewis Myers, 2 plus.
Awesome.
One less Hudson Markowitz, 5 diamonds to you.
Awesome.
Jack Leslie, coached by Jackie Baker, 2 plus. Ron Cox, sponsored by Aaron Osborne, 1 on 1.
Awesome.
Aaron Osborne, sponsored by Jason and Angela Leslie, and I had a new one.
Awesome.
Kevin Calhoun, sponsored by Alyssa, 4 on Fuse, 2 in a row.
Awesome. So, Aaron, you sponsored your boyfriend, right? Y'all been dating for how long? Much better. 7 years, right? How long have you been in business, Aaron? 6 months. And he just now got registered. 4 months, right? So here's what I want to let you guys know. Like, you know, sometimes family members don't come on board right away. Like, are all your family members really positive, excited for you? Okay, awesome. That's some people's story. That's great. That wasn't mine. My parents were like, okay, good luck. But they didn't want to be mean because they kind of had an idea that I was going to be rich through this, right? So they're like, we're not going to say too much because we want a little piece of that pie if it actually does happen, right? But, you know, some people's parents are not 100% positive faith. Were you guys, were you and your husband really, really positive right away when Heather got started? No. They weren't really, you know? They didn't really know, they didn't understand, right? And usually when people don't understand something, they're a little bit standoffish or, you know, not totally on board. But now Heather's mom is in business and, you know, they're actually excited. We're actually going to be going to, where do y'all live again? Seneca. So is it this Friday? Yeah, so this Friday, I'm actually going to Seneca, and we're going to do what's called a house meeting. So we're going to do a meeting just like this at their house. And show the plan, and do like a grand opening stuff. It was gonna be awesome. And so, just stay steady in the business and make it work. Because once they start seeing like what Lewis and Holly, I know their parents were really, it took Lewis's mom 3 years to order laundry detergent. Right, Holly? 3 years to order laundry detergent from him. Her own son. Right? But now they're like, little Lou has got this thing kind of figured out in life, right? And he's created more income now passively on the side than we've ever made in a year. And they're 65. And Lewis is 30 and basically has what would be the equivalent of $1.5 million asset in the bank through his business. Talk about a shortcut to the system. So anyway, expectation. The reason why I just let Nick and Heather share their story, don't run out and try to pressure people into registry right when you show them the plan, right? That's not everybody's story. But at the same time, don't think that that won't be a lot of people who you show the plan to. Because people are looking. Right? And here's the thing, people who usually get on an opportunity, they don't really hesitate a whole lot. People who are hungry after opportunity, right, Zach? Zach saw the business on Tuesday, and the next day he registered that morning. Like Wednesday morning, I get a text at like 7:30 in the morning. I've just rolled over once. Actually, I didn't have rolled over once, right? I usually roll over once at about 8:30 or 9. And I get a text, and I wake up at 9:30 or whatever, and he texts me like 7:30, hey, what's the IBO number? What's your key? I need to get registered. So before we could even meet for a follow-up, he was in business. Now, who in here was that kind of your story? Like you just got signed up right away? Heather did, Andrew did, Jeremy did. All right. So who in here was a little bit slower of a process? Raise your hand. See that? So most people are a little bit of a slower process, right? There was only, I think, 4 people that raised their hand that said they jumped in right away. But when you find those people, it's also kind of nice too, right? So here's the thing, Zach. Here's what I did. I made the mistake of thinking everybody that I talked to about the business was going to be like me, but they weren't. I had to kind of finesse it a little bit and figure out how to sponsor people, right? So anyway, so that's good. Congratulations for all the success. Next week is going to be huge again. The team meeting, I guess somebody's going to be promoting that during dates. What I'm going to do is, guys, go ahead and have Chelsea come up here and do our product, just because she has some videos loaded up here. And then we'll move on with the rest of the evening here. So let me go ahead and give it up for Chelsea. Oh, sorry.
While Chelsea's getting her stuff prepared, for those of you that want the excess, the new excess bundle, I'm placing orders tomorrow. It comes out the pre-release tomorrow. It is $195 IPO cost. So if you want that, just call me tomorrow or send me a text, and I'll probably just type in your card info and then ship it to your house. What? Yeah, or just give me cash. No. So just send me a text. We'll figure out how you can pay me, and I can get your order. And then also, I was talking to Lisa tonight, and really cool. She actually called Amway. She said, I have this idea. Because she was keeping track of her customers and like having to go back through files of like when they ordered a certain product last. So she suggested Amway come up with like this report that you could run on your customers. So she showed me, she said just a couple, when did you find out they came out with that?
I don't remember, it was several months ago, I called them about it, and like within 2 weeks I happened to go to the website and I'm
So
like,
it's pretty quick.
oh my gosh, look what's Holly's gonna tell you is on there.
So this is just awesome because Amway provides the exact tools that we need to keep track of our business, and they make it really easy for us. But you can go to your business center and then go to business reports. You can actually click on customer contact purchase history and then view the list, and it lists every single one of your customers. Then you can click on each customer and it shows you everything they purchased, the date that they purchased, and it says like 90 days since they purchased this product. It's been 150 days since they purchased this. So I just thought that was a really awesome tool that Amway has provided for us that you guys can use to better service your customers. Because if you want to keep them, you need to provide that customer service. So just wanted to let you guys know about that. And Chelsea's gonna rock it out with Eastburn. All right, we got a couple of quick videos about Eastspring.
And for those of y'all that don't know, that is our water purifier system.
This is eSpring, a leading global brand in home water treatment technology. Everyone knows that cola is a syrupy, sticky substance. It is the last thing that comes to mind when you think of clean, clear water. To showcase the performance of the eSpring system, a product engineer is going to filter cola through the unit to simulate contaminants. Cola passes directly through the pump and enters the eSpring unit. As the chamber fills, pressure rises, and the cola is forced through the patented carbon block filter. The carbon filter, the heart of the eSpring unit, effectively filters the cola. From cola to clean, clear water. The eSpring water treatment system is at the cutting edge of clean water technology. Clean, safe, and better tasting water is always at your fingertips.
That's pretty
This is eSpring, a leading global brand in home water treatment technology.
Same video.
You and your family can trust the eSpring system to effectively reduce potential contaminants, and it greatly improves tap water taste and smell by effectively removing chlorine. Let's take a look inside the eSpring water treatment system to watch its technology at work. We'll demonstrate using this test unit with a clear outer shell. City water is often treated with chlorine. It's not generally a health hazard, but chlorine can give tap water an unpleasant odor and taste, and can produce potentially harmful compounds called disinfection byproducts. We'll test this tap water for chlorine by adding DPD, a sensitive chemical that progressively turns water magenta when free chlorine is present. We'll place the chlorinated water aside as our standard for comparison. Now we'll treat the tap water using the eSpring system. As the tap water begins to fill the chamber, eSpring's patented pressed carbon block filter immediately reduces the chlorine, along with its offensive odor and taste. At the same time, it leaves beneficial minerals like calcium and magnesium behind. Now, let's use the DPD to see if any chlorine is left in the tap water treated by the eSpring system. No magenta tint appearing. The chlorine has been effectively removed. Only fresh-smelling, great-tasting water. The eSpring water treatment system is at the cutting edge of clean water technology. Clean, safe, and better-tasting water is always at your fingertips.
If I could, I need a volunteer. You have to be able to smell.
You're gonna drink this? Any volunteers?
All right, first person up here gets to be my volunteer. All right. Okay, so would you drink this water just by looking at it? Clearly, no one would want to drink this, right?
Do it, Adam, do it.
Okay. Now, just by looking at this one, would you drink it? Okay, give it a smell. Now, would you drink it?
Probably not.
All right.
I don't want to tell you.
Good
Now,
Lord.
by looking at this one, would you want to drink it?
Yes.
And by smelling it?
Yes.
Okay, that was just regular tap water. That's vinegar in it. But just because this doesn't look or smell bad doesn't mean that it's not bad for you and doesn't have pollutants and all that different kind of stuff in it. A lot of the tap water that is out there has, it could have lead, mercury, radon, pesticides, pharmaceuticals, and all kinds of different things. But the eSpring actually filters out more than 140 potential health effect contaminants, including lead, mercury, 40 endocrine disruptors, more than 13 disinfectant byproducts, radon and radon-dictated byproducts, 30 pesticide and pesticide byproducts, and several pharmaceuticals as well. And, oh, you can go ahead and sit down.
Sure.
So the retail cost on the eSpring is $1,060.80. The IBO cost is $689.52. The PV on it is $187.53. And the retail profit is $371.28. So it's really great profit for you. Will help get that PV up. John and I have one, and we absolutely love it. It tastes really good, and it's really convenient because you can just hook it up to your faucet. So if you live in an apartment or you move a lot like we do, you can just take it with you instead of having it installed underneath your cabinet. And it's really cool because you don't have to get water, fill it up in your, whatever system there might be, like the pure water filter, or we had a Berkey filter before the business, and it was a real pain because you'd have to fill up some kind of container to put it in there, and then you'd have to wait hours for it to filter, and this one it's immediate, it's really fast. So the average investment for year one for retail is $1,060.80, and then for IBO is $689.52. Year two is going to be $216 retail and $140.95 for IBO. They do suggest that you get a new filter every year or every 1,320 gallons of water, but that's usually a year for most families. So year one, the cost per gallon for retail is 80 cents a gallon, and IBO is 52 cents a gallon. Year two, it drops down to 16 cents a gallon for retail and 11 cents for an IBO. So, over the long run, it's going to save you a lot of money for all the water bottles. You get to support your own business and have really awesome drinking water. That's it.
Somebody asked me today, can you hook up to an ice maker? Under counter model, you can't hook up to an ice maker.
I guess
You can, that's what I.
Oh, okay.
Research. That's what I'm saying, like, that one you can't hook to an ice maker, because somebody.
Right.
If you get the under the counter one, you can.
Yeah, if it, draws from that line, yeah.
So that might be some help.
Yeah, absolutely.
I got asked how to compare the reverse osmosis today too, so. Google.
So how does it compare?
Yeah, so that's great. I actually have one. It really is amazing. And if you look at how much money people usually spend on bottled water, it's like $2 a bottle. And so I actually buy Perfect water from our business, and then with my Perfect water bottles, I a lot of times refill them with eSpring and put them in the fridge. So if you come over to my house and you want a bottle of water, make sure you grab the ones on the bottom shelf, because those are actually unused Perfect water bottles.
I bought them with our disinfectant.
Oh, okay, so Andrea disinfects them. So, all right. So dates. Is anybody in here? Aaron? Diamond Aaron. All right, here we go.
Yeah. How are y'all doing tonight?
Woo!
Fantastic. It fits clearly. I'm going to sit
What's your
down.
name?
My name's Aaron Brain, and I'm sponsored by David Nicole Hagan.
Woo!
And I'm your friend. So the first thing we have coming up this Saturday is the team meeting.
Woo! Woo!
This is going to blow y'all's mind. All right. This is excellent for people who especially are just getting started. Basically, everything you're going to want to know in your 6 months in business, like first 6 months in business, all of that is going to be covered in about 3 or 4 hours. I know my first team meeting, it did tremendous things for me. My business pretty much rocketed right after that. Now here's the special thing about it. Curtis and Dina Pryor are actually going to be making an appearance. For those of you who don't know who Curtis and Dina Pryor are, the gentleman who Lewis was talking about, who actually met him, one who sponsored him, and the one who knew enough when Lewis was having doubts, when he heard about Felicia, what Felicia had to say, he was the one who knew enough about the business and knew it was going to work to say, Lewis, can you just trust me for 90 days to show you how this works? right? He's a gentleman who I respect very greatly. He's actually gonna be there sharing some stuff, so it's definitely something you don't wanna miss. And there's a night out after that as well. I think qualified for that is 150 PV and your ticket for the function. I can tell you from experience, you do not want to miss the night out. All right, if you're, right now, if your personal office, if you're sitting at 0 PV, you can still make this happen. You need to get with your upline and just tell them, listen, I want to go to that night out, all right? They will make it happen for you, or they will sit down with you and just make the decision to do it, and you can make it happen. I remember my first qualifier where I wanted to do something like that. I was sitting, I think it was like 300 PV. I called Andrea, I was like, listen, I want to go to this. And she sat down with me 2-3 nights in a row, and we made it happen. So it doesn't matter where you're sitting in your personal office right now, you can do it. Second thing, the function, April 1st, 2nd, and 3rd, that's coming up real soon. That is something you also don't want to miss. It's going to be in Peoria, Illinois, which is a little bit of a drive, but it's going to, like, here's the thing about it. When I went, Jeff Seeley, we sat together and he introduced me some great music, and it was awesome. But that's actually kind of how we became friends. Like, I mean, like really solid friends. But this function, everyone you're hearing in your audios, right? Like Alan Leininger, Larry Winters, I'm blinking on names, Matt Rotwald right now, Mike Wechter. All of these people, Doug Weir even, all these people are going to be here, and you're actually going to be able to see the voices that you're hearing on these audios. All right, these are people who are going to absolutely change your life if you let them. Like, it's one thing to actually just like, you know, hear something on tape, you can zone out, it's easy to just like not pay attention to an audio, but to actually see these people, to see their success in person, it can actually change your life. This is something also, like, you know, you might look at the cost of a function ticket, cost of, you know, the gas cost of the hotel room, like it might be a little bit intimidating, but compare that to working 40 hours a week for the next 40 years of your life, live off 40% of your income. Like, it is something that you just have to make the decision to go, and your life will absolutely be radically changed. But that's all I got for right now.
Awesome. Awesome job, Diamond. So real quick, we're actually taking some vans, some 15-passenger vans to the function. All right, it's going to be $60 to ride on a van, but you know you'll have a ride. That's gas and everything, right, Linwood? That's gas and everything included. All right, so $60. Holly is collecting money for van tickets. All right, and so she needs that money by next Tuesday, right? Which is the 15th. So if you're riding on a van, go ahead and get your bus money to Holly. All right?
Because that's how we'll know how many we need. So.
Exactly. That's how we'll know how many vans we need to get. Hopefully we'll have at least 24 or either 36 people riding on a van, because we picked 15 passenger vans, but we're only putting 12 people on each van. Right? We're not going to pack it out with 15 people and everybody, you know, get in fights on the way there, right? So no, we're going to have a blast. It is going to be an awesome road trip. It's in Peoria, Illinois. So $60, that's important to get that money to Holly by next Tuesday. All right? And I think that's it. Yeah. So be promoting the team meeting though. Aaron, that was a good promotion. If you want your downline to be there, tell them what he told you. All right? So promote that team meeting, because I promise you it will move your business forward, just like Aaron said. Lewis, you want to come up here and work on this for a second, because it's looking like there's a lot of stuff. Lewis is going to be talking about a few things tonight. Listen, this and Holly. This is going to be some good stuff. What Lewis is going to be sharing tonight will, let me put it this way. Has anybody in here ever felt like quitting your business? Raise your hand. I have before, right? For like 3.5 seconds, right? But no, this information that Lewis is going to be sharing will not only keep you from quitting your business when you feel like it, but it will also give you the motivation to build your business, right? Because you can be signed up at Amway for 30 years and not build it, right, Linwood? It's possible to do that. Yeah, it is possible just to be signed up and to not quit. But when you build it is actually when you start getting the rewards and it actually starts getting really good and fun, right? Because making money is fun. Making money does make you happy, but it won't bring you joy. Dion, if I handed you a stack of $20,000 in hundreds, and you reach your hand in your pocket tomorrow morning and you felt that stack, would you smile? I mean, yeah, right? It might not make him joyful, but it'll make him happy, right? People are happy when they're on jet skis and yachts, right? Lewis actually played that piano piece, believe it or not. No, I'm just kidding. So Lewis and I are gonna be rocking some stuff out. So go ahead, bring up the first lady.
All right, hang tight, guys. Be right there with you. And actually, what we're going to be doing at the team meeting is Holly and I will actually be sharing some of our stories with some of our stories through pictures and stuff, like pictures when we looked weird, where our life was at. You know, like when I talked about ramen noodle, that's no freaking joke. You know, it was no joke. And, you know, people talk about like a healthy lifestyle. We had a survival health style. Like it was either ramen or skeleton. And we felt like ramen was a better option. So, it was really, you know, people laugh at that, but it was so real. Is it 4 or 5?
One more.
So we're going to be sharing that, which, you know, and the only reason why we're doing it is not because we're finished, and it's not because we're going to sit there and say, hey, look how far we've come. It's just to let people know. A lot of people don't know where we came from. Like Zach, in this room, is the only person that stood in my trailer when we got started in business. Like, he was the, you know, and so a lot of people don't know what that trailer looks like. We'll have a picture of our trailer that we started the business in. And a lot of people, you know, there's just a lot of different things, you know. I mean, Christy is exactly the only one that's ridden in a gold car with a red door. To function, you know. Zach and Andrea were the only ones that were with us when those were the only people with us at a function. Numerous times. Numerous times. And you guys haven't experienced that. And you haven't seen that. But we all started with 0 PV and 0 people like everybody else. And it grows. Like it grows. You know what I'm saying? Like it does. Holly said she's going to talk a little bit about this tonight. I'm not even going to get into it. But it grows. So here's what this slideshow is. Tonight we're going to talk about dreams, okay? We're going to talk about, I learned early on in this business that what you focus on is what you get. What you focus on is what you attract to yourself. And lots of times bills can be super overbearing, but you have to figure out how to not focus on them. Job situations can become super overbearing, but you have to figure out how to not over-focus on them. Relationship situations can become super overbearing, but you have to figure out how to not to over-focus on them. Because when you focus on a problem, it enhances and magnifies and increases the problem. Yeah. And, you know, here's what you guys have to understand. When you see this slide presentation, the average person that saw this would never be able to understand why we're doing this. My parents, if they were walking in my house today, would say, Louis, you're materialistic, you've fallen off the face of the planet. Like, all you're in is for the money, and for the trips, and for the boats, and for all this stuff. And it's not so much about that as much as, here's the reality. If I own a yacht, I have an abundance. My goal isn't the yacht, it's just focusing on something bigger than my problem. And you guys sent me these pictures of things that are on your dream board. Things that you want to accomplish, things that you want to obtain in your life. And that's what we're gonna focus on tonight. That's what we're gonna talk about tonight. To remind you that what you are doing produces what you want and what you're trying to accomplish in life. And so it's worth you being here tonight. It's worth you catching this because this is really gonna help you out, all right? So let's go ahead and, I just hit make slide presentation, so I have no idea what even the music is, but awesome. All right, go ahead and hit the lights and we'll rock and roll. Just think you and your family living in their house. Oh yeah, I'm Maserati fans in here. Just think of yourself. That's your Coliseum. That's your team. Zach and I have a coffee. Who's gonna join us? Thanksgiving's at your house. Starter home. Yeah. Woo! Yeah. Name on there. These are real. Ready to carry a bed or anybody want to do that? Grab Jackie. 250 grand. I don't know where it keeps coming from. All right, awesome. That's man, that was awesome to do.
Yeah.
That worked out. That was good. That was good. You know, don't forget, like those things are all part of the business. Like those come with the money. You know, and that's how our diamonds live, guys. Like Larry Winters has not been in the States for like the entire winter. He has been, where is he? he's been all over, but there's an island he's been on.
Rented a private island in the BVI for his family 2 weeks Thanksgiving and
For
Christmas.
Thanksgiving, yeah.
Christmas. Been in Hawaii for like 20 days.
For Diamond Club.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Florida
mean, he
for racing.
hasn't felt the cold weather. He has no concept of it. He's out there with him and his granddaughter, just having a good old time. And, Larry Winter, I mean, even Alan Laniger, you know, when we drive to our function, he will fly. Himself. In his own plane. You know, and he got started in business at 27 or 24. At 24 years old, just a kid, graduated from college, going back to school to become a brain surgeon. And he's like, this is what I'm gonna do. And now he's got he's got a house on the market right now for $2.5 million. And not only does he own that house now, but he also owns a property down in Florida, 22 acres down in Florida. You know, I mean, it's funny. The only way you know where Alan is based on his location on his Instagram pictures. Otherwise, I have no idea where Alan ever is. And his boys doing motocross. I mean, all this stuff. And it's all Amway money, guys. It's not like these guys build Amway, and then they've got this, and this venture, and this venture, and this is how they got rich. It's all Amway money. All Amway money. You know, you saw Greg Francis up there? They have 2 beautiful properties. One that's on the lake, and then one that's on like several acres. You were talking about, the guy that sent the pictures. Who's the one that sent the pictures? Crow? Duncan.
Brad Duncan.
Brad Duncan? About a 155-foot yacht.
Bad month is $2 million.
A bad month is $2 million. These people got in with 0 PV and 0 people. All of them. All of them. What? Triple
He's a
nine?
Crown.
Oh, Crown. Really quick, I'm gonna show you this. When you guys are making your Q12 run in business, this is 1 year in just bonuses. We're not talking your regular Amway check. We're talking a top, above, and beyond. So you're gonna hold it for 3 months, Aaron, and you're gonna be called a gold. And they're gonna put an extra $2,000 on top of your Amway money. An extra $2,000 on top of your Amway money. Then you're gonna do this thing called platinum. They're gonna put an extra $3,000 on top of your Amway money that month. On top of, you're looking at close to a $6,000 month. In this Amway business, your 6 month in business. Every month after that, they throw in an extra $1,000 every single month above and beyond your Amway check. You have already done everything that's necessary to go platinum. They don't need to pay you this, but they pay you extra on top of the thousands of dollars you're already making from being a platinum. They're throwing in extra money. The reality is that whether they gave me this or not, platinum's good. Oh, but the extra $1,000's nice. We'll take it. She'll take it.
Shoe money.
When you're in your platinum run, think about this. You're in your Q12 run. This has been coming in month in and month out. This check comes in November. Above and beyond your Amway check. It's October. Do you start to get a little giddy, you think? What do you think? You think you and your wife start having more sex? Y'all think you're going to be arguing in October when you know November's coming up? No. What I say, wit solves everything, doesn't it? You all figured it out. And then boom, November 20th comes. November 20th, think about November 20th this year, if 20 G's was being dropped in your bank account. What kind of problems that you have right now would become obsolete the 20th of November 2016, when this was dropped into your bank account. Boom.
After you've been making 5 to 6 for 11 months.
Correct. By the time you get here, you've paid all your bills off. Unless you went to college. Can't help you. All right, you paid off all your normal loans. All right? Your car's paid off probably close to this point. You should still be renting. Sorry. Anyways, here's what you talk to your coach. Sorry, that's not a blanket statement. That's not a blanket statement. That's not a blanket statement. But I will tell you this, that the discomfort that Holly and I had gone through for the past 7 years of building business, it makes it all worth it here when you have no bills. You know, people try to keep up with the Joneses and they never get breathing. They never get to breathe. They never get lifestyle. I love what Larry Winters, he was borrowing cars from his parents. He talks about a Mustang that he had that was totaled twice, had a scrap title on it. But that's what he got, because he couldn't afford a car payment, so he just got a car from his parents. Piece of crap. He never could pay his rent on time, and his rent was only $250 a month. Never could pay it on time. And then with like a 30 or a 60-day period, his entire life changes. New house, new car, new trips, new clothes, in a 60-day period. You talk about his parents freaking out. What did you do? Did you just rob a bank? Did you find treasure somewhere? How was all this happening? Are you selling drugs? Larry, are you selling drugs? Here's what it was. He got compound interest, start working in his favor, and then boom, it was payday. And then payday caught him up from 7 years, and he blew past where if he would have tried to been surviving for 7 years, where he would have been. See, Larry Winters wasn't trying to keep up with the Joneses those 7 years. Larry Winters wasn't trying to live in comfort those 7 years. Larry Winters was aggressively building his business, and then wherever he may have been, had he been trying to do it half-butt this whole distance, he blew it away in 30 days. An entire overhaul in his life. You say, Lewis, your shoes aren't very nice. Come ask me what my shoes look in 5 months. I'll have a pair of $300 Italian leather covering these feet. You say, Louis, you have old underwear. Come ask me what my underwear looks like after 5 months. I will show you. I'll let you touch them.
I got that on record.
So, I don't want to preach. I just want to let you guys know that what you're in pays. Zach, I know that you are kicking butt.
I'm trying.
You're kicking butt. It's going to pay off. You know? Tamara, you've been with us now for a little bit. How long have you been in business now?
July will be 2 years.
Okay. Was there lots of times where you felt like, I want to quit?
I was discouraged, yes.
Sure. Tamara, it's been worth those 2 years, I promise.
Yeah, my life is better already.
It's awesome. And you've grown tremendously. And Holly and I started with 0 people and 0 PV, just like you, Tamara. And there's certainly nothing different about us than you. Kyle, how long have you been in business now?
6 months.
6 months, all right. It's worth it, dude. It's worth it. It's worth doing whatever you have to do to keep this thing priority number 1. It's worth doing whatever you have to do. because your life will completely change in the next couple of months, or maybe, let's say even a couple of years. But I'll tell you this, it doesn't have to take long. Does it, Howard? Doesn't have to take long. The business is growing faster now than it's ever been growing before. Don't use me as your example about how long it took for us to go platinum. You know, yeah, it might have taken us 7 years, but here's what I love. Louis, it took you 7 years. I don't know, I look at it like, you should kind of applaud that. Like, I didn't quit. Like, I didn't, wet myself and run away. I didn't start losing, let fear and doubt creep in and mail it in. I didn't start, during the whole 7 years, I didn't start second guessing myself and start chasing promotions and chasing all this other kind of stuff because I was trying to salvage comfort. I chose to believe. I chose to freaking believe and do whatever it took. And to think now that how much our life has changed already in such a short period of time, it just makes it all worth it. Ty, your story will not be our story. You're going to grow quickly in this business. You're going to make income quickly in this business. Your story will be different than ours. Johnny, your story is going to be different than Holly and I's story. But let me ask you a question. If you did duplicate our story, would you be willing to do it?
Yeah.
I think Larry Winters would say yes. We've kind of duplicated Larry's story so far. It took Larry 7 years to go platinum. It took him 2 years after that, and he was a diamond in business. You think Larry has made up for the lost time that he built the business?
He was the most profitable diamond that Amway had ever seen.
Most profitable diamond Amway has ever seen. And here's what it all boils down to. You ask somebody a question, you share a concept, and if they get it, they build a business with you. V, that's all we do. We have like a business that we share a concept, and if they get it, then they build business with us. If they don't, here's the only challenge in all of Amway. Can you ask the question again? And share the information again. That's the only upset in Amway, Faith. And here's the reality. For some reason, people struggle with that. And here's why. Because their memories are greater than their vision. And every time they go to show the plan again, they're more focused on the memory than they are on what they know is going to be the result. That's why these dreams have got to be in front of you constantly, because you have to know where you're going. You have to know where you're going. Hannah called Holly. They had coffee one time. And Hannah said, I don't see Travis anymore. Holly had an option. Either I give this girl vision, or I say, yeah, you're right. Let me go ahead and talk to Lewis. Let's see if we can slow Travis down a little bit. Thank God Holly's not a moron. Holly said, you know what, Hannah? You let him go at the pace he's going for 12 months, and you'll see him more than you've ever dreamed of seeing him. And your baby boy will have a here's what you have to understand. Yes, they have a baby, but you know what, Travis? Your son isn't going to remember this stage in his life. But he will remember when he's 2 years old and you take him fishing for the first time. Or is that happening at 6 or something?
When you take him on a racetrack, then too, he'll remember.
But he will remember when you guys go to Disney World together and you're there and you stay at the best resorts. He will remember when he's got the Express Pass bracelet and he sees all the, what? Dad, why are these people standing in line? Because they can't afford the Express Pass. See this band you got on here? This gets you to the front of the line. You will remember that. You got to think about these things. You can't think about this moment in time right now. You got to think about with vision. With vision. So, Holly has a few words. I want her to share tonight about, from a woman's perspective. It's different. It's really different. But it's nonetheless important. We wouldn't be where we're at today if she didn't have vision like I have vision. Here's the reality. Women think in terms of security, men think in terms of vision. And at some point, she has to start transitioning from security to vision with me so that we can run together. And she's gonna share a few pointers on how she started to transition from security, playing it safe, to vision, playing for the future. Because it's a completely different game. And we could have either sat here button heads the whole time, or she could start to transition that thought process and we could start running together. So I just wanted you to just go ahead and share.
Awesome. I think it's really cool. I was listening to Matt Growall today, and it was actually right before Lewis was chatting with me about this. And he was saying that most people are willing to settle for unhappiness versus insecurity. And that's one of the things that I had to get over and learn was I had to be willing to be insecure for a short amount of time to know that our future and our dreams would eventually happen. And just Lewis asked me how did I build my belief and not focus on that security but build vision. And I think it comes through several different ways. You know, I was thinking it comes through listening to audios. The LTV system provides so many stories where you can hear, you know, everyone who has succeeded in this business has been through crap, just like we have. And listening to those audios, hearing the success stories, hearing struggle victory, helps you realize, okay, they did not just land at success. They had to go through it just like I did. And I remember being in our trailer when we first started the business and Lewis was at work, listening to Pam Winters talk about, if you guys remember the story, how they didn't have heat in their house and she would turn on the stove and like put a blanket over a certain portion of their kitchen to heat the kitchen so that their baby could be warm. And just hearing things like that, I was like, wow. Because then you hear what you are doing right now, you know, taking action, spending money, spending time, investing money, investing time into your business while you're going through the struggle is going to pay off because they did it. So listen to those audios, hearing the success stories, and also staying close with your upline. I mean, I have pictures up, you know, vision boards and dream boards and photo albums on my phone. But still, when you're going through crap, sometimes those things don't matter. That's not why we build a business. Yeah, they're exciting and they're fun, but if you're going through, you know, situations in life, it's hard to see that far down the road. It's hard to see, you know, that Maserati or that mansion or, you know, that 2-story closet when you're going through that circumstance right then. But that's why it's so important to stay connected with your upline because they can remind you that this is not your future and this is just temporary. And they can remind you of those dreams. Let your upline know about your dreams so they can constantly put those in front of you and speak faith over you, speak life into you, and kind of help you see where you're going. And then I think as you were talking, I was just thinking another way to, I think the biggest way that I kind of saw that vision for myself was learning how to invest. I remember when we first started in the business, you know, you guys all invest in audios, right? Mm-hmm. Okay. When you first started, you all should be nodding your heads. When you first got started in business, how many of you had to change your thought process of, okay, this is an investment, I need to invest in audios? Probably all of us. You know, Lewis was, you know, Curtis told us to do it, and then we got started in business, and the next thing I know, he's placing an order for like CEP to get on. You know, that was back in the day. You signed up for CEP, where it was like $30 a month, and they mailed you a CD a week, and like all of LTD would be listening to a certain CD. So for us, like you heard him talk about how we were living off of ramen noodles. I was like, wait a second, that's my grocery money. Like, what the heck are you doing, putting that money into, you know, these CDs when we need groceries or we need to pay for gas or whatever. And so that's where I had to transition from, okay, this is thinking long term. Yes, I'm a little bit insecure right now, but what is this gonna provide me long term? And part of that gaining my own vision was taking action on my own and investing. Because yeah, I saw him taking action and he had belief and he had vision, but I didn't catch it for myself until I started seeing it work for myself. I had to see it work for myself. I had to see that I could do this and make it work, because essentially then that puts you in control of your future. Not saying that Lewis wouldn't take us there, but for me, seeing it work for myself helped me gain that bigger vision. And then I think the big click is, and Heather has probably even noticed this more recently, and I'm reminded of this time and time again. And it hit really big. The first girl that we sponsored in business, I had someone to serve. And when you see, you taking action is going to build belief in yourself, and then you're going to sponsor people, you're going to see results, and then when you see a vision light up in them, that puts the vision back in you, or ignites a vision in you, whereas, you may not have that from the get-go. And in order to do that, you just have to continue to take action. And as you serve others, I initially, I wasn't wanting to be like, oh yeah, I want to be a leader. I think some of you are like that out there. I never had that put me in front of hundreds of people and I want to lead, forces of women. Anybody else out there like that? Matt, you want to lead? Yeah. I was comfortable. I didn't have a lot of girlfriends in college or even after we got married. I was comfortable just me hanging out with Lewis and his friends, me and Lewis all the time. I was good. I didn't need, a bunch of friends. So when we got into the business, and a team started coming on, that as I started to see, when you start to see yourself as an influence in someone else's life, that is what causes you to have a bigger vision. And, you may still not even have a desire to reach thousands of people, but, you could influence one person who has that desire to reach thousands of people, and essentially you're connected to those thousands of people that way. And I think, I think the biggest impact was just serving people, taking action, which led to serving people and the results, and just seeing that hope light up inside of others, and is what caused me to gain a bigger vision. And keeping that in front of me is what has kept me going. Just knowing that, you're influencing people's lives all the time. And I think that's probably all I was saying.
There was seasons while we were building the business where I was wondering, am I making a mistake by putting all my eggs in this basket? Because I was putting every single one of them in this basket. I should take that back. I could do a lot of other things. I'm a winner, I don't quit, I'm persistent, I'm passionate, I could do a lot of different things. And there's a lot of different things that were pulling on my life. But I just would cut it right away. I would not give anything else life. I was like, this is what we're doing. And there would be times to be like, holy smokes. I passed up another great opportunity to put my effort into this. Am I making a mistake? But you only succeed greatly when you take that risk. Like you were talking about success, there's not like it just shows up one day. There's a process or habits of making that happen. And I think one of those things was just taking the chance. Here's what's cool about our business though, is that there was thousands and thousands and thousands of examples that put all their eggs in this basket and it paid off huge. And when you guys come to the function in April, if there's any other reason why you want to be there, it's so that you can see people that put all their eggs in this basket and see their lifestyle. And realize, holy crap, it is worth it. This is why I am in this thing. And Zach, you just got your function ticket, hotel room, you're ready to rock and roll. And here's what that's gonna do for you, Zach, is that it'd be like, the energy you're putting in, what the weekend will do is just confirm that it's worth it, that it's right. That is right. Tamira, going to one more function confirms, these 2 years have not been a waste of my life. Aaron, going to y'all's function confirms one more time that it's worth staying steady in this thing. It's worth making the drive. Jason, you're gonna go to your function and it's gonna be reminded one more time, I can put all my eggs in this basket and my kids will benefit, they will have a phenomenal life, my wife will be free, and we will live like ballers. This is worth it. And that's why you go to these events, guys. When you hear more of our story on Saturday night, Dylan, it's really gonna blow your mind. It's just gonna remind you, dude, you don't have to be anything special to be in this business. You really don't. And here's a big thing for you too, Dylan. You're a pretty short guy, right? I feel like you can still kick my butt. You're way more solid than Dalton. You can still kick my butt. See, he's gonna take me out afterwards for calling me all day.
This is patient calling me.
There we go, okay, awesome. But Larry Winters, you guys are like the same height. And he makes multiple millions of dollars a year. Stature, ability to communicate, none of that stuff matters. Because Lord knows, I don't communicate well. I don't have very good stature. I'm tall and skinny. I might be tall, but I'm skinny. I wasn't Goliath in the Bible, okay? All it takes, Travis, all it takes is what you're doing. You look for an opportunity, yes. Let me share a concept. And then the ones that are supposed to get in, Zach, and the ones that aren't, won't. It's okay. Don't doubt yourself, don't question the process, just trust that it works. And do it. And whoever does it more wins, period. And now while you're doing this process, it's super, super, super important. Super, super, super important. Really important. Super important. Super, super important. Super important. That you read a lot. You have to read. Aaron, you've got to grow yourself inside. Because the more you grow yourself inside, it's like the base of a tree. And the more you grow inside, the larger the base of that tree becomes, which means the more branches it can hold. And that's your organization. There's nothing special about us, except that we've both read well over 100 books since we've been in business. Make sense? So, guys, this is in your future. This is it. Bree, first name again? Jared. Jared used to be in business a couple of years back. 77 people contacted him within the last 3 days. He's like, huh. Got contact with his upline. Thank God your upline didn't freaking quit. That's kudos to your upline. That even when Jared said this isn't a good time and Jared scooted, his upline stayed in. And then what happened? It came full circle. Now Jared's back in, and Jared and Bree will be 6 to 8 month platinums.
Amen.
Do you think that their upline is going to benefit from not having quit? Big time. So don't think long term. Somebody right now has an 8 month platinum game plan, and he's working the game plan, and I believe it's going to be a done deal. Every time I show the plan, I say, okay, then there's 7,500 points, and this is about an 8 to 12 month process. They're like, Louis, it took you 7 years. Yeah, it took me 7 years, but I still believe it's an 8 to 12 month process. Because what we built is really freaking good. Really freaking good. And I believe in this thing, and I believe in you. And I believe that if a brand new person gets in here, that this is an environment to where they put in the work, it will produce. So, you guys are awesome. I hope seeing those pictures helped. Focus on where you're headed, not where you're at. Focus on where you're headed, not where you're at. And know that it's all worth it. Life is always going to beat you up. At every level. Holly, you still have problems? My intake, my head gasket on my car blew in Gastonia last week. Blew off my car. I'm sitting on the side of the street. Oh, you're a platinum! Sitting on the side of the street. It's still life. But it doesn't even faze me. I've been dropping her off at work. We got one car. We've been making it work. It doesn't even faze us. Like, it doesn't even, there's not even a phase there. It's not even like, oh, Oh, we have to move out of our apartment by the 26th of this month. While my car's head gasket blew out of it. Do we have a house yet? No. Does it faze us? No.
And you have the function April 1st to the 3rd.
And we have a function April 1st to the 3rd. We have to be out by the 26th of this month. That's gonna run into some moving things. We have a team meeting Saturday. Who do you think puts that stuff together? Does it faze me? No! Why? Because I used to be living on ramen. And we don't know more. Thank God. And that's just because I go to Zach's house and eat. No,
Spaghetti.
Spaghetti, exactly.
We didn't let
it phase us when we were living on ramen. And that's what I said, like, none of you guys are there. Like, some are, but most of you are not. But I look at it like this. If you're not, you probably actually have more distractions. Because now you see, here's the question. Are you willing to for your dream? And here's how people's budgets work. Make sure everything's taken care of. Okay, what do we have left over for the business, sweetie? We're going platinum in 7 months. Let's make sure we give this thing a little change. Never do we build our business that way. It was always tie, business. What do we have left over, honey? We got enough for Cheerios? The milk's only a day old. Do you think we're crying about that now? No. So, guys, it's real. What you're in is real. And the business freaking works. But you gotta work it. You gotta work it. You gotta tase that hair. Okay, you want a bump? You gotta tease it. You gotta tease this business. You want a bump? You gotta tease it. Talk to Chris if you're curious about what that means, all right? Every true Southern gal knows what tease it is, I guess.
Yep.
Crazy. Love you, Christy. All right, you guys have a wonderful night. I love y'all. Woo!